Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Miles here. Today we're replacing the upper control arms on the Mercedes because they're starting to wear a bit. Car's done 220,000 kilometers. So let's dive on in and I'll show you what I'm doing. So you can see the new arm in place on this side. This is the passenger side, and I'm going to talk you through during the driver's side. Okay, so here is the old arm. Sits in the car like that. You've got two rubber bushings here, which aren't terrible, but they've got a bit of play in them. And then you've got a ball joint here, okay, which is not terrible really for the mileage, but yeah, it's definitely cronking and gronching a bit. So if it's not that, it's the strut. And I think, let you into a clue, it might be the strut because around the back of it's quite oily, but yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'll show you on this side some of the differences from the other side, and then we'll go through a step-by-step process of how to do it. So you've got this 32mm nut on here, and then in here you've got two 16mm bolts. There's one just here and one just there. And they are held on with nuts. So there's one here, and there's one just where my finger is here. Okay, they're both 16mm. Now, because this is a right-hand drive car, I've had to take the battery out here to get good access to it. If you've got a left-hand drive car, then you'll have obviously the fuse box and stuff here, and you'll have the battery on this side, so you'll have the issues the other way around. And on this side, what you need to do is you need to remove the two 13mm bolts that hold this fuse box in, and then just free the box from this tag that's there, lift it up, and then just in here beneath that white mark, you'll see, we'll get there in a minute, a bit of light into my finger, is one nut, and then the other nut is just here underneath this coolant bottle, and the coolant bottle just flips off its support. There's one here, it just literally, it's just resting over this metal bit, and then here is like a little push thing. Just change hands. Okay, just lifts up, and that'll give you enough access just to get your ratchet into there. Okay, so that's how the actual arm is held on. The other thing you will need to do in order to get these bolts out from underneath is to remove the suspension arm. Definitely with the with the air strut here, you need to remove these three nuts. And then there's a bolt at the bottom that secures it to the control arm, but you'll have seen that on the replacing the lower control arm video that I did. But I'll show you that as we go along. So that's what you need to do. These are 16, these are all 16, they're 13, and then the big one underneath is 32, and the nut to the bottom arm is 21mm. So let's dive on in, we'll get the wheel off, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I've got the wheel off, car's jacked up, okay, up on axle stands, and both wheels are off the ground to allow the anti-roll bar to move, so I'm not fighting against it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this nut here, which is a 21mm. I'm going to do it off camera because it's quite difficult to film, and if you want to see me taking all this apart when I did this arm, I'll put a link up in the top corner of the video. So undo this here, and then hammer the nut out. That will then help the bottom of the strut. It's the better way around of doing it, I think, having done the other side. And then the other thing I need to do is just to release these brake hoses from the clips here. There's one around the back where my finger is, and we also need to, there's a couple of cables and stuff here that just need to be freed, because the idea is once we've undone the strut at the top, which is up there from the bonnet, then this arm can just slide forward, out of the way, drop down, and the issue is you need to be able to slide these bolts, which you can get a spanner into here to counter hold, back out because there's no space behind there, so you have to take this out. Now the normal suspension you might get away with because it's much thinner. Obviously this is like, yeah, I mean you can see how big my hand is, it's only going sort of a third of the way around it. So I'm going to take this bolt out now off camera, then I'll come back to you and I'll show you the process of how we get this undone here. Okay, so what I've done now is I've just removed those three nuts there. Okay, they're just over there. And then I've just removed the two wiring connectors. Okay, there's one to here and one to there. And they've got like little, if you look on this one, they've got like a little locking tab. You pull that out and then it should come up, although they were a little bit tricky on this side. The other side was okay. And then all I've done here is I've just pulled this leg forward. Okay, so there's now a bit of daylight up there. Okay, and it's just resting at the moment on the arm down here in the bottom of the joint. Now, when I undo this, okay, when I undo this arm here, all this will swing forward. Okay, and then that'll allow this strut here to move to the side, and that'll give us good access up into these bolts out here. Right, we get focus there to withdraw them out the back of this unit. So I'm going to put you on time lapse now, and I'm going to take this this arm off. Okay, so that's both of the bolts out. They're down there. Real pain, this one on the left. I couldn't get a ratchet in there, I had to use two spanners, and there was no point time lapsing. You'll see what I mean when you end up doing it. So this is now free, and I managed to get the bolts out by moving the strut slightly. It's in a slightly different place than where you saw it. When this comes out, you'll notice this has now got some kind of level sensor attached to it, and that is for the headlights and the ride control. Now, you don't need to disconnect any wiring. What you need to do is just push these two bits over like that, and then in the middle, get the dirt out of the way, you just need to squeeze that little bit together and it will go through. Very difficult to do one-handed, but you will see. Get some light on there. Okay, come on. There we are. If you squeeze that bit together with your fingers or a pair of pliers or a screwdriver, that will then drop down out of the arm. Okay, and there's a hole in the new one to put it back on. So I'm just going to do that off camera because I've only got the two hands here. One's holding this, one's holding the camera, and then I'll show you the new arm and how it goes back all together. Right, so I've got the old one here, I've got the new one here. The old one is a T45 in here to counter hold it when you're undoing it or doing it up. This one is a 5mm normal hex bolt. This is the MEYLE HD, which means it should be a bit more robust. So in the kit, you obviously get this arm. You can see the hole there for the leveling sensor that I spoke about. Okay, and then you get these two. You get these two sort of. Well, you get a washer that sits in there like that. Okay, and then once you've put the arm in there, you then put the washer in. The joint goes through there, and then the nut goes that way with that thinner bit inside and screws inside like that. So I'm going to go to put this back on. I'll give that a little clean up. So this is the level sensor I spoke about. So the bolt goes through here and then through the arm. Okay, so it rests. Again, let's see if we get some light in there. So here you've got a metal panel, okay? In there goes the actual suspension arm. This goes on the outside. It will only fit in one place like that when it goes in. And then the bolt goes in from my left to your right, back out through the hole there that you can see on the right in the engine bay. And obviously the other one does the same thing, but the bolt goes the other way. So again, I think because access is so tight and you can see what I'm going to do, I will do that off camera and put that back together, and then I will come back to you. So you can leave, so what I would recommend is you put the bolt through here, but leave all this hanging down for the moment, okay, until you've got the arm in place. It'll make life a little bit easier for you. So I'll come back to you in a minute when I put that back on. So yeah, you can sort of see by my hair from where I've been underneath, it's been a bit of a dirty job. Need to have a good shower after that. But yeah, it's a simple job. It is 3 bolts, 4 if you count the sort of suspension arm, but it just takes a bit of time. So I'd give yourself a good hour and a half each side, cup of tea in the middle. That'll keep you busy on a Saturday morning. Hi guys, just thought I'd add a quick afternote. It's the next day. I'm a bit dirty again because I've just actually been replacing a front subframe on a Ford Focus for my son. Well, we've been doing it together, so yeah, that was fun. Although easier than we thought it was going to be. Not a single bolt rusted. Amazing for a 12-year-old car. So, quick afternote, and I'll just spin you around. So, there's the offending Focus subframe. So what I'd done to jack the car up is I put the car up to its highest setting, jacked it at the front jack point that's in the middle that we've seen before, and then stick the axle stands underneath. Put everything back together, and then I hadn't depressurized the system, and because of that the front of the car was sitting about 3 or 4 centimeters higher than the back because it thought it was its highest setting. So what you need to do is, and put the wheels and everything back on, but the car's still off the ground, is to release all the air from the front shocks. So I did all that. You just undo this nut, you'll hear the air rush out. Give it about 30 seconds, it'll all be out, or you can undo the whole thing and it'll just all go out in one. It's a 10mm, it's just a 10mm spanner is all you need. Do it back up, okay, just over hand tight, it's 2 Newton meters I think it is. Then you just lower the car back down to the ground with the wheels are just touching, okay. What I then did was I then got into the car, started the engine, put it into comfort, okay, and just let it idle. And what I then did at the same time as that was idling is lower my trolley jack as low as I could get it to go. It won't quite come out of the car on comfort from underneath, but I got it to go as low as it could go. That was almost going to be comfort, okay. And I could see straight away then that the front was level with the back. And then I was able to put it, after it had idled for about a minute, back up to its raised ride height, take my jack out, and we're all back to normal. So hopefully that will be helpful for you. So yeah, as I say, we all make mistakes, live and learn, but I did look at, I couldn't work out the ride height. I got the old manual out, had a look at it, saw what I needed to do, and there's actually another video online replacing Bilstein B4 shocks on a C205. And they had it off the ground depressurized and then repressurized it off the ground. So I thought that would give you a whirl. If you've got the normal suspension and stuff, don't need to worry about that, just crack on. I haven't got those issues. So hopefully you find that useful, as you did with the whole video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.